What's going on, Replo fam? I am here with the one and only Steve Lequerica. My boy, this is an exciting one. So a lot of times, as I was telling Steve before we started recording, like the first 30 minutes of this recording session is me trying to build rapport with the guest. And I am lucky today because you and I are actually boys outside of the confines of these boxes that people are watching this on. And like I genuinely love you. Like I love you, and I am like really glad to talk about like LiveRecover today. The number, like the greatest 1-2 punch in ecom, LiveRecover, Replo, hands down.
Doesn't get better than that.
And I think what's really fun is we have the comfort, so we're gonna go in deep on a lot of really interesting things. Steve, thanks for doing this with me today, bro. I know we've been trying to do this for like fucking months, but like here we are.
We really have, and I take a little bit of blame for it, but you're almost, if not traveling more and dude, more busy than I am.
It's like every week, for context with people watching, every week it was I would be traveling and be like, yo, dude, I'm so sorry. Like I'm like in some weird jungle area, or I'm in the mountains of Armenia. And Steve's like, no worries, bro. And then the next week, Steve's like, yeah, I'm on a yacht right now, bro. I'm in Italy. We can't be doing this. And then it's like, oh, we're at a conference. And then Steve's at a conference. And then we're like, so I'm glad we're doing this. I want to start by saying, I'm going to start by taking out the Zin that I just put in. I'm back on my bullshit,
such a tech baby. Bro. You are such a tech bro.
I went what, like 8 months clean. And then last week on my major like cross country drive, I had to pop it back in. This just helps me wake up today. So I'm like fighting strength energy. But the first thing I want to start with, dude, for the people that don't know what LiveRecover is, and if you don't know, you need to know. You need to install right now. Give us the quick and dirty. What's the vibe? What's LiveRecover?
Yeah. So I mean, well, first and foremost, Sanjay, I love you more than you love me, and blessed and grateful to be here. So thank you for having me on and squeezing me in. But yeah, audience, love you all too. And LiveRecover, in a nutshell, for those that don't know, I mean, what I would say is we basically transform the way online brands can communicate with their customers. And we're bringing that in-store shopping experience online. That's a fancier way of saying, hey, we are a human-based peer-to-peer messaging platform that does abandoned cart recovery. And the great thing about us is we don't compete with anyone. We can bolt on alongside any existing MarTech if you're a Shopify or BigCommerce brand. And we will drive incremental revenue for you, profitable growth, no matter what, because we can recover abandoned carts that you're not legally able to recover today. So
I'm gonna add to the sales pitch by saying Steve has a team of real human beings that actually send the text messages, and that is how the compliance actually, like how they are able to do so compliantly, and why this is truly incremental revenue. There are people that don't fully do the double opt-in on SMS. Maybe they, however you collected their number, maybe you can't text them for some reason, and your Postscript system, your Klaviyo, not Yotpo, as of today, not Yotpo. But whatever the system is that you're using to send your other marketing text messages, you can't use it to send to them compliantly. And Steve's team is actually going in a very human way saying, yo, Sanjay, I saw that you were looking at this Pleasures t-shirt for a while. What's up? Like, did you, were you busy when you were checking out? Is there anything we can do for you? And then, nurture through real human conversation to get that person to finish the purchase. So
shout out Pleasures.
Shout out Pleasures. Yeah.
I mean, I actually onboarded a t-shirt brand today. Like we work with so many apparel brands, but t-shirt brand doing around 15 million in revenue. Funny enough, they actually 6 months ago talked to me, but decided not to install. I think there's a lot going on in the market. I think there's a lot more awareness around P2P in general, like peer-to-peer messaging. All these apps are popping up. I just think it's great. And yeah, I mean, onboarded them today. They came to me. It was like great because I'm like, I don't know if our messaging and website is starting to just resonate. Our marketing channels.
It's your videos, bro. I'm telling you, it's your videos. I
don't know, bro. But they literally come to the call and they go, wait, I have all these abandoned checkouts that I just looked at over the last week. Like they were like a couple thousand. They're like,
Yeah.
And a lot of these people left their phone number, but they're not opted into my SMS list on Postscript. Like, can you help me with this? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
wow, like I want a short clip of this.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the beauty of it. Like, honestly, one of those things that you should start doing is you should just like have people like screen share their abandoned cart page in their Shopify dashboard or whatever, or BigCommerce, and say, yo, like, you see all of those people? I can text them right now. It's money sitting that you can't touch.
That's actually a great, like, that's why I love talking to you on the day to day. Like, and for the audience, like, I steal so many go-to-market ideas from Sanjay directly. Like, he is a GTM machine, like, through and through.
Game is game, baby. This is a family business right here. So, and I have to say, I guess, I don't know if it's a disclosure or not. It's not like a paid ad or anything, but back when like LiveRecover first started, I had a scrubs retail business, retail, like an online retailer. So we sold like Carhartt, we sold Dickies scrubs, we sold all of like the major like scrubs brands. We had wholesale relationships with those companies. We would list them on our website. We would sell to, millions of nurses and doctors and people in the medical, world. And you were actually, or LiveRecover was one of the first softwares that we installed after we took that business over. So it was something that I was doing like just general consulting for. And then halfway through, the operator, the owner was like, hey, do you guys want to just like run this day to day? Because I don't really have the energy and the time to do so. And it was really early on in my career. So we took that over. And wow. I mean, it was like a complete like game changer. And this is 2019. So like a lot of the SMS stuff wasn't like as sophisticated as it was right now. Like I don't even think Klaviyo SMS existed back then. So we were really early on trying to figure out like how we can use like texting to get people to convert and even just like having the communication. So you were an OG part of the stack. You absolutely, I mean, LiveRecover absolutely transformed our ability to grow that particular business. And that was something that was, it started in 1999, 2000, and had grown really high. It was doing a couple $1 million a month, during its peak. And then it dropped down to like 20, 30K in sales. Mm-hmm. And I within the first like 35, 40 days of us running it, obviously we updated the ads, fixed the email marketing in general. But we added LiveRecover. That was like literally week one activities. And dude, we were back to like 60, 70K a month by month two. So you're a huge part of that. And it's something I believe in this particular technology and that type of relationship a lot. And the key, again, I want to reiterate here is that it's real people hitting send. It's a human being. So tell me a little bit about that, dude. Like, actually before you tell me about that.
Well, can I just ask you one question? Because you hit a lot of heartstrings, because there's a lot of brands that, believe it or not, like started sub $1 million in revenue in 2020, and then they're still with us today doing 9 figures. It's like honestly the craziest thing. And but for obviously when you were helping grow the channel for that business, you guys were running paid ads, right? And like I think it's really important for like the entire e-commerce universe to know out there, like, everybody's spending money on paid ads. Like that's a known thing. If you're not, like, you're going to eventually. And so all the money that you're spending to target and retarget shoppers, and then you actually drive them to the site. Yeah. But let's call it like, we know over 70 to 80% will abandon their cart or checkout. And then of that, a high percentage, let's call it 80%, is never going to opt in to your marketing SMS or email list. So like that's a huge opportunity. Obviously we fill that gap. Like, is that how you conceptualize LiveRecover in a way? Like, we're going to help you convert a ton more of your traffic? Or like, did you just use it because it was like the newer tool and there wasn't much P2P out there at the time and you just knew this could help potentially drive revenue? Well,
I think I was, no, that's exactly how the first thing you described is exactly or how I conceptualize it. I think I was probably, and it was me, my partner, Blake Umloff, OG is my, boy for life. He and I both, and it was really him. He was like really deep in like the SMS stuff. So we had, like, I think the P2P part was special for us. We understood like the value prop of that. But for the general person, I think that I guess like a revenue leak essentially, right? Like you're sending all this traffic to your site. Most people aren't converting, right? I mean, we see it in like the conversion rates on the landing pages with Replo now. Like, cool, like on a really really hot day, you're getting 4+% conversion rate off of the average 1.5%. That's still 96% of people that are functionally untouchable or had enough of an interest to come to the website and not, actually take the conversion action. So being able to reach out to them in a real way is like, I mean, I think it's super material and incrementally valuable. One of the things that I have that's kind of like occurred to me was like, do you guys do any work with like visitor ID people, like, OpenSend, where, they're trying to figure out like who these people are. Are you able to take that data and start texting those people as well? So like, let's say they didn't, like, person comes onto the website, didn't fill out the phone number at all. You're able to capture that phone number data from an OpenSend or your customers or whatever. And can you text those numbers as well? Is that possible?
Yeah, that's a great point you bring up, because there are so many different, like there's so much different event data that we do collect and can, start to dabble into other, aspects of the funnel, if you will. Because one area that brands will always get to generally, once the lift is proven, they're comfortable with the platform, they're like, oh, this is what you're doing. Like, you're not conflicting with any existing channels. They're like, how do I do more with these agents? How do I, more use cases, right? Which we've already come out with, and that's what's on the roadmap through the end of the year. We could talk more about that, but the user identification, like, yes, we can collect the phone number at different stages. Like, for example, right now we only work in like a Klaviyo integration where if the customer that abandons, whether they're opted into marketing or not, has past history and has left their phone number, and we have that in the Klaviyo profile, at some point, like, we can text those customers on a P2P level, whether they reach the checkout or cart or not.
Yeah.
But we haven't done anything with OpenSend or any other companies. We will be able to. I mean, there's a lot on the product roadmap that Corey has done a phenomenal job with.
Shout out Corey, man. I love that guy.
Shout out Corey, the AI godfather, as I call him. He's really built a great product vision. And he's also revamping, as you know, and others might not, our sister company, Voyage, which, not to confuse anybody or, make conversation start, like whisper start, but Voyage is an SMS arm of LiveRecover. So we do support SMS full stack, but we lean into Shaft brands right now in terms of, like, we have the compliant age gating and mechanism. And for those that, might not know Shaft, you think of brands that sell products that are, sex toys, alcohol, vape brands. I literally just talked to a vape brand this week that the owner, it was the ex-owner of 8Vape. He now bought 15 vape companies, some that are very, very high traffic, and we're going to get them all at LiveRecover. And then because, I never push SMS, because what I've really tried to narrow in the past 2 years, if I can take credit for anything, and obviously Corey has just as much credit, is how do we delineate from a positioning standpoint? LiveRecover is separate from Voyage. Because when we merged with Voyage a couple years ago, it really, our messaging was totally different, and it confused people. So it was like, we know LiveRecover installed on any site, I don't care who you are, doing $100,000 in revenue a year or 9 figures plus, we know we can be a positive incremental lift. 4 to 8% top line revenue, like clockwork. So how do we make sure brands know that, I don't need LiveRecover because I already do Attentive. I don't want to talk to them. I'm already on Postscript. I do Klaviyo, right? So finally, I feel like we're definitely at the furthest we've been, and maybe an inflection point where it's like I told you today, I don't know if it was a different call, but I had someone get on the phone today and they're like, oh yeah, you're going to help me literally text these thousands and thousands of customers every week that are not opted into my Postscript flows. And it's like, fundamentally, yes. And then, everything else was super easy. I mean, we had them installed, literally fully installed, because we're a Shopify app. So we had them fully installed in 12 minutes.
Yep.
like soup to nuts, like installed. They had access to the dashboard. They updated their privacy policies. They put some basic information in the knowledge base for our agents to be on brand. And then we set up their first workflow to just target first-time customers not opted into SMS. And, now if I check their dashboard, they probably have a couple recovery sales.
Yeah. That's time to value. That is like, I'm always talking about how quickly can you get, the idea of like, oh, this product could help me, this app could help me, to actually realizing some of that value. I think you guys have, and this is something that we chase, that I try to chase with the Replo product. It's like, how do we reduce our time to value? And you guys have, 12 minutes is 12 minutes, man. That's like,
right? Like,
that's
speed to
unheard
value.
of.
Like, what is your, like, I'm curious what your speed to value is. Like,
yeah.
If I was, and picture me, like, I just have a great idea, I have the backing behind me, I have a good e-com brand, or I'm starting to develop my e-com brand and we're getting some scale on revenue. If I want to install Replo, like, how quickly can I get up and running with landing pages?
Yeah. So the actual install part is pretty fast. Obviously, it's like you just click a button, boom, you're installed. But the actual value part, and the way that I personally define value, is that you have a traffic ready page. So it's right into the specifications that you need. The product is, the product that you want to feature. Obviously, with the integration that you have, we're pulling that information from Shopify, so it's super easy to set up. But it's like, it's that last bit of like, okay, I know what template I need to use. Or I need to like build my own page, and I have it like a traffic ready page. On average, just from looking at the data, it's about 78 hours. So that's not 12 minutes, right? Yeah, so it's actually much longer. And the prerequisites, and this is something again that I think is really cool with the product like yours, the prerequisites of getting the value for you guys is, as you said, as you kind of listed out, it's like making sure the privacy policy is updated, making sure that the LiveRecover agents actually have information about your product and your
basic
brand,
FAQs.
and they're not like the basic FAQs, right? That stuff is like really easy to transfer for us. A lot of times, and it depends on who on the brand team is actually doing the work. So if it's the person that actually is conceiving of, okay, let me back up. A lot of times, the person that has the strategy, right? Maybe it's the e-com director, maybe it's like the media buyer or whatever. The person that has like the concept of like, hey, this is what we need. They're not always the person that has the bandwidth or the knowledge to actually go put the page together. And even though we have a drag and drop builder and all of like thousands of templates that you can use, that's still a lift. You still have to go do that work, right? And we have Replo experts that kind of bring that in. I've personally, and I'm someone who is obviously in our tool much more often than the average person. I can get something up, like a new test ready, in under an hour. In like 30 minutes or so, because I know what page I want to build. I know what is going to be on that page. I know the offer that I want to test. I know the positioning. The AI that we have built into the current version of the product can help me rewrite copy really quickly, and I can use some light edits. And then it's just a function of do I have access to the images that I want to use for this? Like, I could spin that up really quickly, but I'm like an above average person because I know what offer I want to test. I know the pages that requires, like the funnel structure, etc. Like, I know all these things. Not everybody does know that. And so a lot of the reasons why I make the content that we make and the drip sequences, the way we have them set up, is specifically to give people that knowledge, because not everyone has that knowledge.
I love your video. I think your video game is so lit, for lack of a better term. Like, right now, like that's the next level. I always say there's levels to this, and like, if we're gonna talk video content game, like, I, at such a low level right now, have been scratching the surface and see the impact of what it could do, not just for business, personal brand, awareness, education. The big thing, like, there's the education piece that I think you're just hammering on is super, inspiring, because we have some leaks in our top of funnel that I think, and we talked, our team talked about it today, leadership call, like, how do we solve for some of these leaks? And I'm very big on having, whether it's animated videos or content videos, like the videos like we were talking about yesterday, retargeting, like, I think there's an aspect of, if we do like 60-second, a couple 90-second videos, like, a lot of these brands that install but don't activate billing right away because maybe they were hung up on one thing or this or that, like, I'm interested to see how that impact goes. Also, like, once a brand is on for a couple of days, like, I think there's an element of I've seen a lot of your videos where it's like best practices, like how do my users get the most value out of Replo? Like, you know, I just think we're now starting to get to that pendulum effect where it's like, it's not about if you should be using live agents. I think by the time someone comes to speak to me, they know like this is a no-brainer, and I will get them a lift. So what are the best ways based on this brand being a furniture brand that sells 2,000 plus AOV and has this type of traffic and this type of revenue? Like, what's the best phase one? Right. And I have that down to a science. I just now need to build the content library and curate that.
Dude, I think I love so something that I try to tell a lot of other people in like our space, like other GTM folks at other Shopify apps, just SaaS in general. SaaS has this like really funny aversion to like direct response marketing and maybe like ads and marketing in general. I think part of it is because 10 years ago when everyone was raising like, you know, insane amounts of money in ZERP and they were just dumping it into Facebook because it was easy and cheap. And they were just doing like, hey, sign up for my, you know, thing. And a lot of this stuff was like generally novel. The products themselves are generally novel, like cool, you could just like flood signups. But now the funnel is much more sophisticated. Buyers are more sophisticated. Ads are more expensive. Everything's more competitive. And so I love watching people come from already competitive spaces that have really great, like sophisticated like ways of looking at things and applying them to our business. And a great example of this is a guy named Jeremy Haynes, and he runs like a basically his whole thing is like how to get people to $1 million months, and his target is usually like info product people, trying to get them to, you know, $1 million months. So people who sell courses,
sell horses.
Yeah, so his whole thing is like, so he's going after people that are doing like courses that are doing
courses. I thought you said horses.
No, not courses. Well, he's done shit like that too, because
like
he's
that
like
AOV must be wild. Get me like, connected with him.
You know, $400,000 horse, bro. Like, it's like, but he's done that too. But like a lot of it's like super high ticket stuff that he's trying to sell. And
you should connect me with him.
Yeah, well, I don't actually know him personally. I just follow him on Twitter and YouTube. And I screenshotted a video of that I watched of his while I was eating lunch last week, and you know he hit that retweet, and I was like, finally, I'm on Jeremy's radar. Just a little bit cursory. We're getting closer. We're getting inching closer. But one of the things that he always kind of talks about is turning your salespeople, and in this case, it's like you and me, into cashiers. And so by the time that the prospect gets to the sales call, they actually already know your positioning. They know all of the kind of the intricate details of what you offer, where like the range of pricing that you are. And then it's functionally like, hey, let's tailor the solution to you. To your point about $2,000 furniture piece, right? You're able to say, cool, there's a little bit more of a nurturing requirement. Maybe there's like a style thing. Is it going to fit? How does this thing get shipped to me? Do I have to assemble it? If so, who can I hire to assemble? Like all these sorts of things, like all these other sub questions that you might have your live agents do. That's the easy stuff, right? But that's a technical. That's like a, you know, checking some things on the order form. The person's already energized to buy by the time they get to you. So how do you turn salespeople into cashiers? And what I'm starting to realize is like the amount of content that is required for us to actually allow our salespeople to be cashiers is just 30 to 50 times greater than what any of us in this space are currently doing. I don't know of a single SaaS company outside of probably ListKit, and ListKit is actually run by these types of people. That is this level of sophistication and depth. And even then, like I think ListKit probably can do more volume. And so an example of this would be, let's just do some live workshopping for both you and for me. So an example of this. Yeah. So there's cause see, you got the first thing you have to educate people on is the P2P stuff, right? Right. Which is like, we've already talked about this. You're doing a ton of content. The quality of your content is actually so much higher than my content. So I'll tell you why. I'm currently, the camera that I'm using is my iPhone. I use continuity camera on my iPhone.
Well, but bro, I don't, cinematic, that can get great. Like, I'd be interested to test between us or just me in general. Like, yeah. Because I will say, like, sometimes my organic, like, off the iPhone, like, random hot takes get way more views than some of the professional. But, I've also seen a lot of great success with professional.
It's you do both, right? Because, like, I'm not saying don't do it. Like, there's some stuff that's going to come out. It's August 5th right now, 2025. But in September, mid-September, we're going to have some like high production value stuff drop, which is a complete departure to what we do now. I've had video. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I can't wait for you and Zoe to help me do some production stuff. And
we're going to, that's great.
I get the brother discount.
You absolutely do. But so like, I think you do all of these things, but the thing is like, okay, so for you, you have to first educate like how P2P is materially different than, like the Attentive, Klaviyo SMS Postscript style of things. Then the second layer of that,
once they understand that,
once they understand that. So it's like, I mean, right now it's just like a building an awareness thing. You're trying to rise the tides of people's awareness of P2P and why that's valuable. And they're probably actually a layer above that. Like, I still talk to brands where they're not doing any SMS at all. Like, they're just doing email. Some of them like just starting to do email. There's a supplement company that I consult for that wasn't sending anything other than just like the Shopify. They were using the basic Shopify flows. They're doing $1 million a month, and they weren't sending anything other than that, right? So like now, I gotta get you in touch with them because they need the incremental.
For sure.
Feel
now,
so
let
dumb.
me play devil's advocate. Yeah. Don't just butter me up. Like,
I won't.
Be honest. Like, if you're not doing SMS today and doing that type of volume, clearly they have abandonment volume. Like,
sure.
What do you think's a better first step? I always argue that the best entry point into any type of additional channel, like an SMS or email, like, is the live agent P2P way. Because one, we're engaging with customers that also opt in to P2P. Like, it's an opt-in, but not a marketing opt-in. So we have language that you put in. If they put their phone number there, don't purchase in 30 minutes. We're going to engage with them legally. But when they get that text, it's not a, brand name dash BOGO offer, come get your whatever. Like, it's an intimate, like, it looks and feels like you and I are texting because it is. It's just copy. And it's like, hey, the whole messaging. So like that avenue, jumping into SMS for the first time as an additional channel, I always argue what better way to do it than the live agent P2P way. But, I'm always interested to hear the argument because it's less invasive. Like, you're not just literally trying to spam everyone and whatnot. So I was interested to hear your feedback.
Yeah, I think the framing that I approach that with is, if you're new to the channel completely and you want to have the lowest amount of risk and investment in that channel. And so the advantage with the P2P angle is, okay, I'm not about to spend, I'm not about to double my Klaviyo SMS bill or Klaviyo bill with adding SMS or sign up for Postscript and, adding a third or, 66% of my bills going, whatever the incremental cost is. And also I have to go configure all of these like millions of flows, not millions, but, like the core 4 flows that you need to get started. I don't have to do that much work. If the incremental investment is, some sort of nominal fee to get started, plus anytime I make a sale, I take a percentage of that, right? Versus I'm going to spend an incremental 20 or 2,000 or 4,000 or however many thousands of dollars per month on message costs. And more critically, and this is the key piece, and this goes back to the time to value, is how much energy and knowledge do I have? Like, how much energy do I have to invest, and how much knowledge do I have to learn to be able to get value out of this thing? And the P2P angle is really great from like a first foray into SMS because it's like, okay, I have your live agents are the ones doing the heavy lifting. It's not like, I have to go train my CX people on how to do X, Y, Z. I don't, because that's what your live agents are doing. And on the cost basis, right? Again, nominal fee to get going, but then also I'm not getting like, if someone doesn't convert, I'm not getting charged for that, right? It's not like a tax just on the volume. Whereas you are like, you send 50,000 text messages in a month, you're getting charged through Klaviyo or whatever else. Like, you are getting charged for those text messages in a different way, right? And I think that the lowest barrier of entry from a money perspective, obviously, I think everyone should look at it from an ROI perspective, but also how much energy is required, how much lift there actually is to get value out of it, and then how much do I have to up-level myself and my team to be able to get value out of it. I think those are the factors that people typically don't look at, but should start to do. in order for you to like really start getting value out of a new channel if you've never touched a channel before.
You're so right. And like I always have said historically, so it's been a blessing and a curse, where it's like LiveRecover can be the easiest incremental set it and forget it tool in a lot of ways. Of course, there's an element of optimizations, always be tweaking, updating the knowledge base, having us, align with you on your marketing calendars and what site-wide sales you're pushing or not. But, there's brands that, a marketer can install us. They know it's providing an ROI. Things are working. Like they're not doing anything and we're recovering $100,000 in revenue. Sure, we're charging them, a couple grand or $5,000, but if I told you I was going to give you $100,000 in revenue, we were going to take 5 of it. I'm sure you'd take that any day. Oh man,
I'm going to get a base model 911 every month, and all it costs me is a couple of grand to Steve. Like that's a good deal, bro. I'll if that's what it takes for me to get an extra 911 base model, then I got it.
I know you love your cars, dude. I know you love your cars.
I've got so many on the desk right now, dude. It's funny. So going back to the content thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the first layer is like there's still plenty of people, a lot of brands out there, 6, 7, even 8-figure brands. Again, this is a company, one of the ones I was working in, doing $1 million a month through TikTok Shop. So shout out to my boys at Reacher. I know these guys are using Reacher to find people and Social Snowball too. But
shout out Bora.
Shout out Bora and Jerry, man. I hope Jerry gets out from under the desk soon. But like you build that first layer of content to raise the awareness of SMS in general, and then you position P2P as the easiest kind of entry point into it, and for all the aforementioned reasons, right? Like, hey, you think about ROI, think about not just the dollar cost, but also your team energy, your knowledge up-leveling energy that's required. We do so much of it for you. That's the time to value piece. Cool, it's you've done that content, and so that's like your entry funnel, and then from there, it's you get people. Maybe they book a demo, right? And then this is where Jeremy Haynes talks about the hammer them strategy. And his recommendation, his prescription on this, and this is something that I'm starting to do for Replo.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear this.
Yeah, so he recommends 30 to 50 individual videos that
before the demo?
Before the demo. From the time that the person books the call to the demo. 30 to 50 videos that you hit them through retargeting. So you're retargeting them on any channel that you're running ads on, really. But like obviously Meta, so Facebook, Instagram, do it on Google. So like primarily like the YouTube stuff, but also wherever display if you can, but mostly just like the YouTube thing. If you can run it on LinkedIn, great, because our customers still are sort of on LinkedIn.
I love LinkedIn. I know I might be the minority, but
I think it's great.
I mean, I repurpose my content, as I'm sure you do, on all channels.
Yeah.
Even I just started on TikTok, as you probably saw.
Yes.
I feel like a grandpa on TikTok, but
dude, I'm monk as well, bro.
I feel like once I crack the code there, that's going to be fun, because I could also incorporate my personality, because I'm all over the place and do some, or at least people think I'm
If you haven't done Cut 30, do Cut 30. That's my recommendation there. Definitely do Cut 30. Shout out to
is that an edit, or are you talking about like the workout thing?
It's a course. No, Cut 30 is Oren John. It's Oren Shabel is his last name, but
Oren John, the GOAT.
Yeah,
the GOAT.
And then Colin Landforce, right, and then a couple other guys, Alex Garcia down in Austin. Those guys.
Alex Garcia. Yeah.
What's really cool about that course, and I went through this earlier this year, I think, maybe last year. I don't know. It's been a while, but they teach you like, hey, here's how you do short form, and specifically make content for short form. But the value isn't so much the course material, which, like everyone has access to like courses on how you can go find that content yourself. The value is for the 4 weeks that you're in that cohort class, you can drop every single video that you make in that period, and you are incentivized to make more because they themselves, the guys that are actually running the course, that are living, they're practicing what they preach every single day, and they've transformed their lives doing short form. They are the ones reviewing your content and giving you feedback on what could be better. And
that's sick.
The case studies are crazy, dude.
Obviously you pay for this, right?
Yeah. And each cohort, like, it increases in price. The other one, I think as of today, like today's like day one of their cohort, you should like spam them and try to get in on this cohort. Because I think it's like, now that you're investing in this in general, in this format in general, like I think you should do it.
I would love to.
So just like hit them up.
I'll hit up Oren, see what we can do.
Yeah, have him stuff you in there, and the thing that I didn't do that I wish I had, and I will probably take cut 30 again, after I like kind of like really like internalize the material again, is you have to make a video, like commit to 1 or 2 videos a day, and have them review it, get their expert feedback on your stuff every single day, and the amount of knowledge transfer that happens from them saying, yo, your hook is absolute like dog shit, this is what you should do instead, that is worth more than, you know, the one time that they gave me that, or the 2 times that they gave me that feedback that really like stuck with me, that completely transformed the trajectory of how I think about flip form, and obviously like the velocity with which I post. So
I love that. Wait, so 2 things. Well, first, what are the top 2 things you got out of that course? I'm assuming that's one of them.
I mean, just the commitment to the channels themselves, commitment to short form. And like to talk about LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn has a dedicated shorts feed. It's still starved for content. The fact that LinkedIn has now a dedicated shorts feed, and every time you upload a vertical video to it, you're essentially automatically going to be put in that shorts feed, it's free money. It's free attention. So if you make, you know, greater than slop content, you're going to get, you know, incredibly cheap and easy impressions. So that's going to like increase your organic, right?
Yep.
The boys over at Opus Pro. So shout out to my boy Lou and to Blake Umloff, who I mentioned earlier. Like they actually put me on this.
Blake.
Blake's the man. They told me that I should be posting at least twice a day on YouTube Shorts. And I was like, and that's it's a short, but it has to be under a minute.
Oh, YouTube Shorts. Yeah, that's the only channel I haven't gotten into. So
dude,
we need to activate my YouTube.
Take everything that you've been doing. I mean, I you know what? I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you.
Spicy.
Yeah, I'm going to show my own data. Spicy. This is a fun. This never happens. I
love that I can. You know, it's the North Jersey in me to be able to get people to break the rules, because I do it all the time. Let's see.
Do I have to reshare my? Here we go. Screen. We're gonna do window. We're gonna share this. Cool. Here we go. We're gonna go to YouTube. This is my. So, shout out Lotto. I love Lotto.
Shout out Lotto.
Okay, so just for context, we have a main Replo YouTube channel. It's got like, I don't know, 1,200 subscribers on it. We've had it since mid 2022. That's when the rest of the team created it. I post anywhere from 2 to 5 long form videos that get put into my shorts machine. Most of my clips are made in Opus Pro, by the way, and I have the enterprise plan of Opus Pro. But we started posting on we created a separate channel called Replo Clips, so a completely new channel, and we just post shorts on this thing. So you see videos, and then we have shorts here. But if you look at the analytics, I'm going to show you the lifetime. We started this on May 19th of this year. And this is just from posting. Initially, it was like 2 a day. Now we're doing 4, 6, sometimes even 8 posts a day. And there's like a long tail to this. Some content pops off, gets a couple thousand views. Some of it gets, you know, even more than that. It's B2B stuff, so you don't expect to go like super mega viral unless you're really, really good. But this is just repurposing all of the long form. Like this particular podcast that we're recording right now is going to be put into this, right? And so there's going to be clips of this that are going to get a couple thousand views that I can then... Okay, I can retarget the viewers of these things that I can then push into my funnel for different things, right?
Oh, I love this. Because then I guess basically, you know, like stuff I've been already doing on the content side, I can just push over to this channel. Basically repurpose it.
Yeah, so this is, again, May 19th to today, we have 114,000 views. This is entirely organic. There's not been a single bit of ad spend on this channel specifically to get the views for the YouTube Shorts specifically. It's just the organic views that the Shorts are getting. So this has been like the engine for a lot of the growth that we've been able to do. So normally the summer, normally the revenue starts to soften during the summer for us, and I've got
like July's crazy in SaaS.
Yeah, and I've got 2 years of data to kind of show the revenue softening. This is the first July where revenue was going up consistently.
Love it.
And this is part of the reason why is we're everywhere all the time. My goal is I want to build a market takeover machine. I want everyone in the market to know who I am, me personally first, From there, I want you to earn my trust as like someone you can, go to for, some specific set of knowledge. Here it's like CRO, landing pages, that sort of thing, right? And then from there, being able to show, hey, this is how my technology, how my software, my product can actually improve the quality of your life, your business, etc., in these specific ways. Going back to the Jeremy Haynes, hammer them when they book that call, 30 to 50 pieces of content. I think I'm actually in the process of setting all of these pieces, like organizing my content that I want to sequence. Yeah. So between the booking and them actually showing up with the demo, making sure that they see 20 to 30 pieces of content that are essentially like all the FAQs that go everything from like, hey, how does this stuff work? What is actually required to be successful here? What's it required to be a best customer? What is the profile of a best customer? Case studies of what those people look like and what they did, and like the tests that they ran or how they were thinking about the strategy behind this, right? All these sorts of things, the pricing, like where am I going to like kind of end up? So by the time they get on the call with one of my SDRs or one of my AEs, they are like, okay, I have a pretty good idea that this is going to help me out. And then It's just answering. It's like the little like, okay, what's the timing of it? What other resources do we need to pull in? Do we need do they even have the bandwidth to set up these landing pages? Who else on their team is the designers that need to be kind of upskilled? Do we need to pull in their performance marketing team? Do we need to pull in their retention team? All these sorts of things. Those are like order taking questions. That goes back to turning your SDRs on the call or your AEs on the call into cashiers, right? So that you have that, and then taking one step deeper. Jeremy Haynes also recommends, and this is something that I never get any sort of buy-in. I actually have like an internal struggle with Replo all the time on this particular piece, but he recommends for the 72 hours after they book the call, you send 6 emails a day for 3 days. So 18 emails over the course of 72 hours, which seems like a lot, but you're doing the same thing that the retargeting content is doing. You're answering, hey, what do I need to know about this thing? What is P2P? How does P2P differ from like all the other like SMS, right? For in your context. For me, it's like, okay, like how do I what are landing pages really? Like what is some like broader funnel things? How should I be thinking about funnels in general? How should I be thinking about offers, about testing, about CRO, all these other pieces? Then it's the pricing piece, like how much do I think I'm going to like reasonably spend when I jump in? Is this going to be a $2,000 a month engagement, or is this going to be a $200 a month engagement? What's the difference? How quickly can I see results? What do I need to be measuring? All these sorts of things get answered in those. It's like the FAQs, right? It's what you would typically spend. Like if you were doing like a lot of times you do like a 2-call close, you got to get all those questions answered first. And then the second call is like all the little order taking, like, stuff. You're able to shift a lot of that stuff onto the content that you drip into ahead of time. And you also have to remember, like, not everyone's going to watch all of that content. And not everyone's going to open every single email. It's not going to be annoying. People at this point, it's 2025. They are going to consume content at their own pace. And if they're really upset about it, then like they probably weren't going to be a great customer to begin with, right?
Right.
As long as you make sure that you are approaching this, and it's the same thing in the difference between the general like SMS where it's like, hey, BOGO, buy this now. And then, the messages that you guys send through your system, like, hey, Jeremy, like, I saw you were checking out this Pleasure shirt. Like, what do you think? Like, did you not see your size, or like whatever those sorts of things are, right? Like making sure that it's contextualized to them, it's relevant to them. You're trying to be helpful. You're convicted in what you sell, and and then it's just a cash register situation when they actually get on the call.
I think that's a great breakdown, bro. Like I think that's a great way to look at it, because that 1, 2, 3, 1, they're going to talk to, like, nobody likes to be sold to these days. Let's be honest. And everyone's attention span. I mean, gosh, I have no attention span, but like, I look at people and I'm like, holy geez, these next generations, like, are they ever going to leave their house? Like, so it's like everything is at their fingertips on the phone and technology. So like, one, people are going to talk to and book a call with someone they like. So that first step of like, make sure they like, they know who you are. 2, they buy from people they trust. And you build that trust with those educational videos and like, actually, what you talk about. And 3, you're going to retain the customers that you need to retain if they know how to use the tool, maximize the tool, and they're getting the value. If you're getting incremental value, why would you ever leave? So that 1, 2, 3 approach, I think, is just beautiful.
And what I want to I want to zoom back. Most of the people that typically listen to this content that I record here are people that are at brands. So they're probably sitting here listening to this, or agency people too, and being like, yo, like, how does this actually apply to my business? Everything that we just talked about, obviously you can use for Replo, use LiveRecover, like that's part of the stack, right? But also the system, this way of kind of indoctrinating potential customers into actual customers is universally applicable. These are just foundational like principles of the world. If you are able, if you're selling t-shirts, you're selling $2,000 furniture, this is the same set of strategies and tactics that you should be deploying in your business and using tools like Replo and LiveRecover to achieve, as it's just as important for us selling B2B SaaS or an agency selling, you know, some sort of support service as it is for like the actual brand itself. This is all universally applicable. It's just a function of how do you actually fit each one of these things into your business. So this is, I think I always have to like kind of remind people as deep as we get on some of these other tools and how these things fit together. These are marketing principles. These are sales principles. These are like human psychology fundamentals that we're just kind of applying. And the examples that we use might be a little different than what your business is, but it's universally applicable.
I agree. I mean, geez. Dr. Jenkins, you never cease to amaze me. You really
dude, that's
don't.
My dad, bro, and soon my little brother. That's not me, man.
Papa Dukes.
That's
you know,
right.
Well, seeing some of your content with them too is just
they're fun,
very heartwarming. Your parents are great, and I can't believe, you know, that you grew up in like the middle of like Missouri, is it?
yeah, dude, in cow country, bro. Like I literally grew up next to a cow field, bro. Yeah, I went to my.
Were you the only brown person there?
For a long time, we were. Yeah, for I think probably like 5 or 10 years, we were the only brown people, and then it started to grow. Now there's actually a pretty sizable like Indian and Pakistani, you know, community there. But
that's dope.
Yeah,
there can't be many Puerto Ricans over there.
I could not. Maybe now, dude. I don't think I met a single one when I lived back there. Like, yeah, Neosho, Missouri. You know, it's funny. Neosho, when I moved there in 2004, had a population of 15,000 people. If you go there now, it's 12,000. Population's actually declined.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and it's one of those like there were companies like Rocketdyne that used to make rocket engines for like the 2003 or 2004 Mars mission. Like that was like the last big project they worked on. They went out of business. I think the major employer now in Neosho is like Lazy Boy. Lazy Boy still is a pretty like large, you know, the recliners and stuff. They still have a pretty big facility out there. And then like where I went to school 30 minutes by car north in a town called Joplin, which got hit by this massive tornado in 2011. And that like kind of changed the fabric of that entire region. But Joplin's grown. I think it declined in population quite a bit. I think it went from like 50 to 35 as a tornado, and then it's back to like 50 or so. But yeah, Neosho has declined in population. But yeah, I grew up in cow country, and yeah, somehow we made it out the literal sticks, baby. Bro. I love going back. It's nice to be sort of in nature. I'm not like I'm not much of a nature guy like that, but yeah, no. Dude, I am from I'm from the country.
You're from the country.
I took a Spirit flight last year. Mm-hmm. I was coming from LA back to Dallas.
God bless you on Spirit.
Dude, hey man, I got the big front seat upgrade. You know, pay a little extra money. You get to sit up front, and you feel like you're in first class, but it's still first class on Spirit.
Right.
And I sat next to this older lady, and she was like, "Oh, so you must be like an LA native?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm from Missouri." She's like, "You don't sound like you're from Missouri at all." I'm like, "I don't know." Like, apparently, supposedly, the part of Missouri that I'm from, we have the most neutral accent, and this is actually the closest approximation to the accent that people had in America, like during the Revolution, like the American Revolution. So really? I sound closer to George Washington than people who live in DC today.
I don't even know if I have a comment on that, but I'm gonna believe you because I trust you wholeheartedly.
That's fine, and that's because we're convicted, and this is something. Right. This is one of the things. Before we started recording, one of the things you were talking about is like, people don't really like, selling, and then you kind of classified yourself as like kind of a default, like you're a salesperson. I never really think because I've seen you work a room in person, I've seen you on calls. And the thing that I take away from every time I watch you, either it's a video in-person thing, just a conversation at lunch, when we're just, boys cutting up, late night at the Airbnb. Every one of these things, every one of those moments, I think you're not a salesperson. You're actually just so convicted on your product actually helping people, and you have such a clear narrative on how it helps people, and that is not something that is easily manufactured. It's not manufactured at all. It actually comes from a place of like deep like care and love. And I do have to say, I remember back in Austin, April 1st of this year, when we were hanging out, and we were at the Amplify event. Shout out to Hamza putting that thing together. But I remember you were talking to like, I overheard you in like 3 different conversations, and you approached it with this like such intensity and conviction on what you were selling. And I was like, on what you were offering, not selling, but what you were offering. I was like, yo, I got to get to that. And I've noticed myself, because it's been a very deliberate practice this year, like trying to switch over to like being convicted in everything that we do. It's like very easy over time. Like you hit a bunch of no's, there's a ton of
right.
product roadblocks that happen. You have team shifts that happen constantly, like, and then this game wears you down. So, dude, I have to thank you for that. It's like reminding me like there's true love in this game, and if you're convicted and you can clearly articulate why it is you can help people, it's like you're not selling. You're sharing. You're sharing the good word.
Right. You're 100%, dude. I appreciate that immensely, more than you know. And yeah, man, I think it's also authenticity. Like, I'm the same person I am talking on a Zoom call, or talking to you, or talking to my mother, or talking to the dude I just met in the street. Like, it really just, that's what I am. And like, and LiveRecover truly is a part of me. And I feel blessed for that. And like, where you've grown with something and helped build something. And, I have nothing but gratitude for Dennis. And shout out Dennis.
Shout out Dennis, man.
Great friend of mine. Love him like a brother. And he and his partner built a platform that truly, I think, is something that can last forever. And I take that very seriously in terms of carrying the next phases, right? Because we've been through multiple phases already. But the next phases of LiveRecover, gosh, like I could have never thought in a million years. We would be at where we're at today, and then what we have on the roadmap of the horizon. Like, it's really just, it's cool, man. Like, I see and hear a lot of awareness about P2P in the market these days. And, it used to be like an unforsaken, unseen, like, is this even legal channel?
Yeah.
And, there always is gray areas that people, think and whatnot, but that's our job to educate. And, man, like it's been beautiful. And then like, folks like yourself, like what we've like built in terms of like our groups that we, have in the e-com world, and like the friendships that we've established, like Zoe, our boy, like, Zoe's a little brother to me. He always will be. Yeah. He worked with me at LiveRecover multiple times.
Yeah.
He's someone that, definitely can't sit in a seat for longer than 2 minutes. And his mind works in just such a magnificent way that he's always has to have his hands in 18 different things. Yep. So, I value Zoe and his relationship, our relationship so much. I learned so much from you guys truly on the day-to-day.
Dude, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I'm getting dinner with Zoe today, actually. It's pretty fun. I haven't seen the guy in person, I guess, since New York a couple weeks ago. But
I'm actually jealous, and also you should tell him, like, all love, but like, if I post another post and he doesn't like it or repost it, we're gonna in these streets, we're gonna have problems.
Oh,
okay?
dude,
we're gonna have
problems. The Long Island brawl, brother. Dude,
I'm gonna have to play a one-on-one in basketball or something, just to get my frustration out.
That's fair. Don't
forget where you came from, Zoe. Don't forget where you came from.
We should organize we're doing DTC paintball around Grow. I think we should do a DTC like pickup basketball, like a 3-on-3.
1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah. Like Zoe can spin that up in a second. And and the paintball thing, like I'm gonna roll through to that, right? That's in New York.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, come pelt your boy with paintballs, man. Tell me how you really feel about me.
I'll be actually, landing pages.
Yeah, dude, I'm actually most excited for like the agency and like SaaS vendors to be able to play paintball with like brands, and like all the frustrations. If you're a brand, we love you, but sometimes you drive us crazy, okay? And I 100% put this event together with the express like hope that I get to like get some of that frustration out. Like it's a cathartic experience for me. And two-way street. I hope all the people that are getting pelted with our cold emails and stuff that are like, will these guys stop messaging me? This is your chance to get back at us in a very physical way. So I'm excited for that.
I love that idea. Dude, your idea was sick. Wait, before we wrap up, I did want to ask you, and probably be cool for other people to dig their teeth into. I'm always curious, how are you personally leveraging AI in your day-to-day, and how do you also incorporate that into GTM and scale?
The most obvious answer is like we use an AI-powered clipping software, right? So I could go to WAP or I could go like find a bunch of clippers to take all the long form that we have. And before I have a video editor that's going to take this and kind of package this up a little bit for on the long form side. But the software that we have, Opus Pro, and we have the enterprise plan. Again, it's like $15,000 for the year. I could probably get you a homie hookup there, but that has reduced our time required to like output material like 100x. Like it used to take us like probably 2 or 3 weeks to get maybe 30 usable clips, and now we can do like 100 to 200 clips per week. So we take the long form video, we plug it into Opus. It does a lot of the initial cleanup for us. So my video editor just has to do a little bit of tweaks. And then all of our systems are connected to it. So he schedules it through there, boom. And then I know, even if I'm not like shit posting on Twitter one day, or I forget to post on LinkedIn, LinkedIn's like the one that I'm really weak on that I'm trying to build up. I know that there's going to be some,
it's funny.
Yeah. And like we can syndicate on TikTok too. So I know that there's going to be something going out. And the only requirement from an input perspective is I just need to talk to somebody, or I need to talk to camera for like 20 to 60 minutes a week. And I know that the machine will run. And I end up, getting like 5 40-minute long form videos out per week anyway. So we always have that machine running. I'm never out of content. And so that is probably like the biggest like leverage that I've unlocked using AI. The next thing is there's a ton of workflows that like a lot of repetitive tasks. And this is something that I'm starting to do more and more of, like from a reporting perspective, or just like I need to like deliver this output. Like taking the transcript that we have of these things, turning them into cold email scripts, or turning them into lead magnets for cold email, for offers that we're going to send out to on our website, or like social media. Say, hey, like comment keyword and then get this guy, like all these sorts of things. We're starting to build those out, and the one that I'm using specifically is N8N. So I'm using N8N, and the hack that I realize is like, so I say that I'm not technical, but I'm like technically aware. And the JSON, whatever, it's probably not a programming language. I'm sure actual technical people are gonna laugh at me for framing it in that way. But like for me, it's like, wow, it's code. It's like crazy. But what you can do is you can have like Claude, and Claude's probably the best one that I've seen. But you can have Claude or GPT. I use a tool called Whisperflow. So I just like AI dictation. It just takes what I say and then format just a little bit cleanup. So I just basically dictate into Claude or GPT, and I say, I want to build this workflow in N8N. This is like my starting inputs. These are the transformations of the data that I want. I want to pull in these other things. Like, maybe I want to do some research on X, Y, and Z. And then I want to have like this specific output. Give me the JSON for it. And it outputs the JSON. So that takes like, from the dictation, I have a good awareness of like what all the different steps are. So it's able to kind of like infer what needs to happen.
So you have a good prompt?
Yeah. And so like, I have like a good system prompt that I built specifically to run this workflow. So I have a good system prompt. So it's able to kind of like extrapolate, okay, these are actually the steps that you need if I don't always like dictate the ideas. A lot of times it's like, I want to take this thing, like this transcript, and I want to turn it into like a PDF that I can edit in Canva that has like these images pulled in, like this additional research and these infographics, and it can do that. And then I just take that JSON and I paste it into N8N, and I add in my credentials, like, I need like a Google Sheets, like, it needs to pull in a Google Sheet from, whatever. Cool, here's that. I need to drop in a TXT file of the transcript. Cool, I can do that. And then it does all the transformation. And then that, you build it once, you run it a few times, make a few tweaks. Takes like a couple hours of like an afternoon. It's kind of fun. Usually like when Amber, my fiance, goes to sleep, that's what I like. I'll just sit here and tinker.
I love
And
it.
that
I love it.
that is like that's like been the biggest unlock, I think, from an use of AI. And then I think the last piece of it is probably just like a lot of research. So I'm like a really heavy user of like ChatGPT's deep research. And I will, like, if I'm like, okay, I need to understand a business. So I don't understand a business, I'm trying to generate like offers for something that we're trying to do at Replo. I'll be like, hey,
Yeah.
here's deep research. Here's some like project knowledge specifically on like what a good offer looks like. So again, going back to some of the internet guys, the internet money guys, like Daniel Fazio, he's got a lot of really great guides on what a really great offer is or how to like convert cold traffic. So it's almost always in my system prompts for my deep research projects. And then I'll be able to like ideate like, cool, these, I'm running cold email, sending thousands of cold emails a day. These offers are just simply not converting. This is the audience that I'm going after. Can you help me like workshop these sorts of things? So that's like the third piece. And then I think I've started to use VO3 a lot just for like small ad projects. It's not doing entire like ads, but the small video project. I'll tell you a very tactical example of this. Zoe was running a webinar with the OpenSend team. He happened yesterday, and to get registrants for it, we wanted to run YouTube pre-roll ads on a set of specific YouTube channels of people in our space. So the audience that are already watching that organic content are going to be aware of like all the different things that are going to be talked about on the webinar, which is like email marketing stuff, right? Yep. And so I was able to prompt. It's like a model, essentially, like this beautiful woman talking about like, hey, here's the value prop of why you should attend this event. CTA would have normally required me to like hire a model, and like, obviously the script writing. But with VO3, in about 30 minutes, I think, we were able to have a YouTube video that was getting us like $2 like webinar signups for this event, and these are like qualified 8 and 9 figure companies that were attending this. So we get them $2 YouTube pre-roll ad, get these webinar signups. The webinar happens. That's a piece of content right there, and then SDRs go in at the back end after the webinar is over, and convert them into $1,000 a month. SaaS subscriptions, right? So it's like $2 to get the lead, convert them on, even if you convert them on $100 or, $50, that's still a net positive. And it's done through this very, very simple, prompt based video generation tool called VO. So those are like the 3 or 4 things that I'm using AI on.
I like that a lot. I was in some of the posts you put like a couple weeks ago, I saw you getting into some N8N stuff. I was like, I got to start picking his brain.
Yeah, dude. Well, that's this is a fun episode just by nature of like, again, it's probably like super meta. Like we were talking about like the business that we are in. If you are a brand watching this, obviously, if you haven't already, go sign up for LiveRecover. It's the closest thing to free money. You need to be
literally give it to you for free for 30 days. So.
Well, there you go. So
300 grand in revenue, we recover. We're not charging you a dime. So
there you go. So
why not? You could just leverage us and then maybe go use your own live agent platform. I don't know, but just test it out. It's no brainer.
So go. We'll make sure that your information's in the show notes, dude. We'll make sure that the link to the LiveRecover is as well. But the point that I want to make, everything that we talked about in this call is high level strategy that can be applied to any business on planet Earth. You can do all the workflows that we talked about, all of the strategies, they hammer them, like, the content, just using YouTube shorts, doing shorts at all. Like all of these things are possible, whether you sell, hats or shirts or expensive chairs or, horses. If you sell horses, you can use this.
Bidets.
Or bidets. Wash your ass, please.
Shout out Tushy.
Dude, one of my favorite moments of pretty much every company I've worked at in e-com is Tushy eventually rolls around and someone in the office types the URL wrong and they just go to the porn site and not the actual bidet site, which is the funniest thing in the world.
That is hilarious.
Happens every time. It happens like it's like clockwork. But yeah, shout out Tushy. It's a great product.
Shout out our sex brands. They need love. They need love too. They need SMS love too. And we got you.
And all the strategies that we talked about today, like maybe you can't run Facebook ads, but you can do all of these other things. And there's a bunch of like interesting funnel stuff that you can do. Obviously the P2P texting that you can do to be able to support that growth and be able to use these tools in ways that, you know, they don't traditionally allow you to use them and still be compliant. So I think this is one of the most like game-filled episodes that we've done in a very long time. So I appreciate you doing that, man.
Bro, I appreciate
thanks
you.
for the time.
No, I thank you, bro. And I really want to do this again. I think next time we lean in and talk some banter on the front end of like sales marketing, push pull. You know, like you know how there's always that in GTM, you know, marketing and sales that needs to be cohesive, but it's in the most healthy of companies and the best companies that are growing rapidly, there should be some type of like almost always a little bit of a wrestle between marketing and sales. And we're starting to see that come unfold because our head of marketing, unbelievable, Caitlin Hutchinson, says shout out to her for just her, she's a savant her own way, but you know, it's growth challenges. Sometimes you have disagreements and you got to work through them, you know? Yeah,
dude. Hell yeah. So we'll run this back again. Hopefully next time we can do it in person. Maybe we can get like Zoe in there too, but I love you, buddy. We'll do this again very soon.
I love you, bro. I'll hit you up, man.